Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Late Winner Show. Um, Welcome to the best series. I think this is our fifth position that we're going to talk about. So today's the central defensive midfielders that we're going to talk about. Let me just go over. Let me just introduce our panelists as well. We have Anshuman, Rohil, and Saurabh with us today as well to talk about who is the best of the best in the central defensive midfield positions. I think we shortlisted five players: N'Golo Kante, Casemiro, Kimmich, Fabinho, and Ndidi. And then we were able to decide that Fabinho and Ndidi were number 4 and 5, respectively, as CDMs in the world right now. So we need to decide who is the best between Kimmich, Kante, and Casemiro. I think it's going to be a very difficult discussion from what I see and from what we previously discussed as well offline. So Anshuman, you want to get us started with this?
Uh, okay, so for me, the third position
Mhm.
which goes to is Casemiro, and the second position for me would be Kimmich, and call me biased or not, the first position will always go to N'Golo Kante. So if I talk about Casemiro, I mean he has been, of course, he has been instrumental for Real Madrid for the last 5 seasons, but I think the last season was his strongest in terms of attacking. I think, and it's always uh, very delightful to see central defensive midfielders
Mhm.
contributing to the attacking part. And I think a lot of because that particular position always negates you from going ahead to going forward. I think there are a lot of player instructions that like don't allow you to do those kind of plays that might allow, because it's more about keeping your position, keeping the shape of the team. And for a defensive midfielder, it's probably one of, I have been saying this for a long time now. I think defensive midfield position is like one of the most overlooked position in terms of stating which player is good in that position, which player is not. And other than that, I think for me is the most important position in a football, in a modern football tactic, because I think in that sense, Casemiro is very valuable, very valuable to Real Madrid. I think in the last season he scored what 6 goals and 4 assists, and
Mhm.
even prior to that, I mean, uh, his passing rate from when he joined Real Madrid in 2015-16 season, there has been a gradual increase in his passing rate. When he started, it was 66%, because probably he was not playing. He was switching from attacking and defending, and he was not getting that kind of role that he really understood with. But apart from that particular season, from 2017, his passing rate and his shot and his tackling has improved drastically. I mean, in the last 3 seasons, he has an average of uh, 86% of successful tackling rates. And I think in the last 2019-20 season, he came second in tackles, and he came second in dribbling as well, which also boost a lot of possible stats for Casemiro to thrive in that position, because a lot of players are not good at dribbling. You have to be very nimble with the football while playing that defensive role, because if you lose that ball, the ball is going straight back to the defense line, and you have to have that composure and confidence to dribble past the midfield as well. So in that sense, Casemiro has done brilliantly. But for me, if I why I am keeping Casemiro in the in the third position is because of the versatility that Kimmich has over Casemiro.
Yeah.
I mean, we just saw it in Euro as well, and we have been seeing it past for the 4 or 5 years that Josh Kimmich has completely transformed himself from a fullback position to a defensive center mid. And I think that is a huge task for a player from a fullback, where where more focus is given to the tackling, more focus is given to the work rate. But having said that, he scored 6 goals and he scored 13 assists in the last season for Joshua Kimmich, and I think that proves that he is one of the most talented defensive midfielders out there. And I think even for the German national team, he has been fundamental. Right now, after Tony Cruz, I think the only guy who is very dependable for German team right now is Kimmich. So I would say, in that sense, also he comes second for me. And for number one, I think it's N'Golo Kante.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at the stats, stats are going to favor Casemiro at this stage. If you just look at the stats, I mean, the tackles per game. If you look at tackles per game, if you look at interceptions, they're all he's ahead of Kante in that aspects. If you
Right.
look at if you're just going to talk about statistics, but when you're talking about in a central defensive midfielder position, we definitely we need to look for a player who where we need to consider what the player does off the ball as well, and that is something which is going to be very difficult to account for any player or for at this stage, because you do not see those kind of things and what kind of a run he's making or what kind of plays he's constructing, so that he can actually get into the positions for the team to be able to attack or actually defend at the same stage. And that is where actually Kante shines, according to me, because obviously, again, call me biased, but maybe because I've seen so much of Chelsea. And obviously, my second favorite team, I would definitely say, is Madrid at this stage. And I've seen both the teams at the highest. I mean, and both the players performing at the highest level for the past 5 years itself. So just looking at the rate at which Kante has been improving over the years, since his ascendance in the for the league run at with Leicester City, but and since his recruitment in towards Chelsea as well, you see the amount of work the work ethic he shows, and the work he puts in to get those runs in and create those positions where he can actually go for the interceptions and win those difficult tackles which are won on a regular basis by him. I mean, like Anshuman was just mentioning the match for the Champions League final. Obviously, we know how crucial he was in the semi-final stages and the final stage itself. Because I'm pretty sure if Kante was not in the picture, we definitely would have lost the match, because we would have not even cleared the semi-final stage against Real Madrid at that point.
Agreed.
He was instrumental in that aspect, and his pass completion rate is phenomenal at this stage, and he's only growing in numbers. And now, if you want to bring in the individual accolades, not the individual, sorry, the team accolades, I think it puts him ahead of Casemiro, because he's already won the World Cup, and he has the Champions League now. He now has the Champions League as well under his belt. So, and obviously he has won the domestic titles. So if you start taking into those things into account as well now, I think you're gonna come up with Kante and for me, Casemiro will be number 2 in that case.
And also, I think why I'm putting Kante, and I'm not talking about bias, why I'm putting Kante in the top position as a defensive midfielder, because of the position. If we would have put Kante in central midfield, maybe Kante would have been in the second or the third position. But as a defensive midfield role that he plays, the track back and the work rate that he has, I think in the marking perspective, I think there is no one better than Kante in marking that particular player. I think he sticks to that particular player for the entirety 90 minutes. And we have heard people say it, we have heard pundits say it, that you watch Kante play in the 89th minute, it looks like he just started the match. He's that fresh.
Yep.
So, and also the interceptions, and I just I was reading an article where I think, I don't remember the player's name, he's a brilliant player. Somebody asked him that, who do you really fear? So he said N'Golo Kante, because even if I go past him, I know that just in a fraction of seconds he's gonna be tracking me back. And I think a lot of times in the Chelsea defense also, in even in with France, even with France, when France is defending, you see Kante in that defense line position, where a lot of central midfielders stay in that midfield position. Kante always switches back, and immediately when there is a counter attack, Kante, because of his pace, he goes ahead very fast, and he's very nimble with the football. His dribbling, his finesse is brilliant. His vision is absolutely brilliant as well. But overall, what edges Kante in the top position is his tackling and his marking for the defensive midfield role, which I believe is the most important attribute for a defensive midfielder. I don't worry about the passing percentages, because your role is to hold that defense midfield line, to make sure that your defenders are all balanced out. Also, make sure that your forwards are making that particular run, and the holding ball that you play is very important for a defensive role, where I think Kimmich and Casemiro lack a bit. So in that perspective, I think for the particular defensive-minded player, I would say Kante is again for me first pick.
Yeah, for me also, Kante is number one, Casemiro number second, and Kimmich number third. And I say this because Kimmich started as in a defender role
Fullback.
for Bayern Munich.
He actually started as a centre back because of an injury crisis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he started in the defender role. I know he has been touted as one of the most complete footballers in the world football right now. But again, he's not. Although sometimes we are discussing here about the CDM position, but he does not play in a CDM position as much. He's rather playing as a right back more so often for Bayern Munich. That's what I've seen. The qualities for Casemiro and Kante has been well put forward by Rohil and Anshuman already. But the other thing that I just would want to add for Kimmich over here is that his ability of feeding in balls in the set pieces is second to none. And also the ability of long shots that he can take, and the crossing. These are 2-3 factors that I think is better than Kante also and Casemiro also, like the long shots, taking the set pieces, and the crossing. But that is not the attributes that you would look for a CDM role.
For a center, yeah.
So that's why he's number 3 for me. And Kimmich and Casemiro, Kante and Casemiro in 1 and 2. Nothing more to add.
You brought up a very good point, because I was like, oh, how do I convince these guys that Kimmich is actually better than Casemiro or even Kante, right? But you brought up a very good point about set pieces and all the other stuff. Like, and we're actually talking about a central defensive midfielder. Yes, he is a central defensive midfielder, but for the last at least 2 to 3 years, neither am I seeing him playing in a central defensive role for Germany or Bayern Munich. So that puts himself. Yeah, we can obviously talk about him like maybe in a central midfield position, maybe where we
and
can.
Plus, also Kimmich is not very good at tackling. Also, that is also there. He's not very good at tackling when compared to these two. And for CDM, as Anshuman mentioned, is one of the best attributes.
One of the most important attributes that is needed to be there for a.
I mean, he's slowly he is on the trajectory of becoming that new Philipp Lahm that we all lost 7-8 years ago, but now he's already on that trajectory, because he started as a right back and now he moved into the midfield. And
but this also gives an edge to Kimmich, because knowing the fact that he has played so many roles and yet he is touted as one of the best defensive midfielders when he has not played that particular role for a long time. Also adds to the fact that he is one of the most complete footballers out there.
He's a complete outfielder, definitely. Like no agreement to that. But like I was reading, Mbappe's interview actually when they defeated Bayern Munich, and they said like the coach wanted me and Neymar to close the passing lines on Kimmich. Mbappe told reporters, following PSG's 3-2 win against Bayern in the Champions League. So basically the message is very clear that just stop Bayern, stop Kimmich, and everything is going to open up for us to defeat them, right? So. it's slowly starting becoming that kind of a fact, right? Where you just stop, you just have to, you know, figure out a way where you stop Kimmich in a way you can defeat. Because yeah, we all know Bayern overall they're strong, but they're not like a complete
They're
team.
not the
As of
team. They
now.
are not this. They are not the team that was like
Exactly.
2 years
They're
ago.
not a complete team. They have
Yeah.
pieces where they're able to do things in the other end of the on the other end of the pitch where they just nick out games, right? They're able to do that. Yes. So yeah, but I'm going to agree with you guys now. Like I was going to have an argument with you guys to put Kimmich ahead of Casemiro, but I guess like I kind of agree with you now. Like based on certain points that you brought up on Kimmich, Casemiro, and Kante. I think Kante definitely I feel is more. I think like yeah, if we go by our categories, then I think Kante is way ahead of Casemiro just
Yeah.
because of the
Just because of the CDM role that we have chosen him for. That is why he's on the.
But one
fourth
question I
number.
want to bring up is that I for sure know that Casemiro was a major part of Real Madrid's run in that 2016 to 2018 Champions League. So that, and I think with a couple of La Liga titles under his name. But Kante has won the FIFA World Cup, and then he went to the Euro finals in 2016. If you look back like at 5 years before this, and then I think 1 or 2 Premier League titles with Chelsea.
Two
Right.
Premier League titles.
2 Premier League titles. So then I'm not sure like if Kante edges out Casemiro or Casemiro edges out. You know.
I mean, like I already said. I mean, when you start looking at those kind of things, I mean, it's going to be very difficult to justify your picks. I mean, because I think everyone would start picking Champions League over the domestic league titles any day. But
True.
I would not say that. Just hear me out, because the reason that you get so very little time to gel with your team, with your international team, and to be able to do that. I know it's not like something that the player is doing. It's obviously the manager's job to do that. But you are playing with Real Madrid or Chelsea year in year out, and you're able to see like, okay, we have got this player now in this transfer window. This is how I have to adapt and all that stuff, right? So it's easier. I feel it's easier to say. But yes, in terms of difficulty, I can also agree with you on that. But on that fact that Champions League is maybe greater than World Cup, because of the sheer talent of team, sheer talent that one team possesses, right? So
I mean, let me just put it this way. I mean, Casemiro is not the player who actually won Real Madrid the Champions League. It was definitely 2 or 3 more players who are ahead of him in that aspect as well. He is instrumental. I'm not saying he's not instrumental. He is instrumental, but he's not the one who actually won Real Madrid the Champions League. It was Ronaldo, it was Ramos, it was Benzema. I mean, all those players were much better than him.
But then you're looking from the perspective of goal scoring attributes, right?
I'm not saying goal scoring.
No.
I mean, obviously, goal scoring is a different thing when you start including Ronaldo into the discussion, because defensive midfielder and attacking players are obviously going to be very difficult to judge, because obviously Ronaldo will have the goals. But
in that sense, Gundogan would take that title.
Exactly. I mean,
For a best.
When you start looking, if you disregard the goal scoring, Ronaldo was still more influential in creating those balls, and ultimately you have to win those games. It's not just about defending, right? So you have to win those games, and even if you start talking about defensive capabilities, Ramos was much better in that in those crucial matches as well.
Also, one more thing, sorry to interrupt there, Roel. Casemiro was definitely there for the campaign that Real Madrid had from 2016 to 2018, but still Luka Modric was far more impressive than Casemiro.
Exactly. That's why he was the one who was nominated and won the Ballon d'Or in 2018. So I mean, you start looking at those things as well, and Kante was like for Chelsea last year. This year when we won the Champions League, he was the sole person who actually was able to push Chelsea to the final for the victory itself, because we know what he did in this, like I mentioned, in the semis and final. Even for the 2018 World Cup, when you start looking at him, he was playing the position he was playing allowed Pogba to actually unleash himself and play a brilliant campaign in that season, in that World Cup season. So you have to see those things as well. That's why Kante will be ranked number 1 and not Casemiro.
Exactly.
I think you put on valid points that
Yeah,
Kante
no,
is
no,
number one. Yeah. So
convinced us all.
yeah, I think
Chelsea fans have spoken. I was going to say that at the 10th minute mark also that Chelsea fans have already spoken. The discussion ahead is going to be moot, but it took another 10 minutes to convince you guys. But okay, that's fine. As long as we reach to the conclusion that Kante is number one.
Kante is the
Yeah.
best,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So yeah, I think Kante is the best. Casemiro number 2, Kimmich number 3. I think Fabinho was 4 and DD5 as I mentioned earlier. So that concludes our discussion on the best defensive midfielders. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, to follow us on Instagram and Twitter or any other social media handles. To know more about the awesome content that we're going to bring up. We're going to post more stuff we're going to do more content like this. So definitely do stay tuned for that. We've already done the series regarding the goalkeepers, left back, right back, center back, and in the previous weeks. Please go ahead and watch those as well. Give us some love, give us some likes, like, share, and subscribe to those as well. I think the next up is we're going to talk about the central midfielders next time. So do stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for joining, guys.
Thank you.